you for the replay last week. I did watch that, and so
Good.
I went through the two paragraphs that you read. My God, I don't know what you guys were thinking last week.
We've just spent 11 minutes catching up. So, what happens? And it doesn't
And
matter. It's all quality time.
That's true. That is true.
With my best buddies.
Yeah,
yep,
I'll drink to that.
How, how do we go with our lessons?
I did okay. Um, Not great, but I did okay. I remember asking myself several times about my thoughts. Who am I inviting in as a guest in my mind? And knowing that what I continued to think about, it would linger with me and abide with me. Because the home that we had for sale and sold fell out of contract last
Mm.
week. So
Oh,
I was like, huh. I guess we're not supposed to sell it right now.
Mm.
And it's winter, so the
Mm.
market's kind of done this, and we had another offer that we didn't take. We took this other person's offer because it was an all cash offer, and they backed out at the last minute. So I was a little teed off, and then I thought, hmm, this is a perfect opportunity to watch what I'm inviting in that's going to abide with me for a week. So it was good. I love the capacity to have a reframe on life based upon what we choose from the Course in Miracles every Tuesday night. I love that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think mine was the same as yours, Gary. How am I sending out the invitation to God? And I kind of had tips for myself at the end. Pay attention to the vibratory quality of my thoughts, conversations, and actions. And because I journal in the morning, it tends to, I think, I'm not consciously doing it, but when I reflect on the day that's gone, it's like, yeah, I think I did that most of the day. There was definitely one occasion I didn't, and it was an opportunity to have a bit of an explore of why that triggered me. It was I haven't experienced clicky groups in Nanup at all. But there's this dance fit class that I do, and it's usually okay. They're not the friendliest women. They kind of look at me each month, every week, like, hi, as if don't recognize me. I've been there the week before as well. Like, oh yeah, whatever. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, it was a bit funny last week, and it's like, it's not me. It's okay. That's just how they are, and I don't need to bring that into my energy field, really. It's not
Mm.
my thing. And but also because it did trigger me a bit, it's just another opportunity to do another trauma release session on myself
Yeah, yeah.
to reflect on why that affects me at all.
Good
Amazing
for you.
tools. Thank you, Gary.
You're
Such
welcome.
amazing
Make a
tools.
list of all the time that you were
Yeah.
with you were outcasted by girls or
Yes.
women.
Yes. Yeah.
Women are a
That's,
dodgy bunch, I'll tell you that right now.
I would
Proper
agree.
bitches.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
who else wants to
How'd you
share?
go? How'd you go, Coralie?
I've had this other thing that's been really with me. I've been hanging out with my tomato plants, and and I had this thing with my seeds this year because well, I've got some that are sort of that big now, but they're mostly little seedlings. And I started in July just to see if seeds would start in July, and they wouldn't. And so I did some in August, and a couple sort of grew a bit. And I thought, oh, it's my year of failure of tomatoes. And then in September, I had one of last year's tomatoes, and I just sort of broke it open and put it in the soil, and it went. So I had all these tiny little seedlings. So I put them into the pots that had had July and August seeds in them. And putting a seedling in each of those like reminded the first seeds to grow.
Oh,
So I've got a lot of seedlings and I keep giving them away, and I feel like I have had more seedlings than I had seeds. But my sort of thing that amazed me about that is like if I'm a seedling and I sit next to someone else, like if I'm growing and I sit next to someone else, do they just remember to grow?
I love
yeah,
that.
good point. Love
I
that
love that.
analogy. Yeah.
I like
Nice,
that.
Coralie.
Good
I love my
metaphor.
tomatoes, I really do.
Apparently.
That's brilliant.
Love it.
Well
That's good.
said.
Joe?
Uh, I did an easier one that whatever journey you choose to take, he will go with you, waiting. Mm. This is a nice reminder for me. I picked an
Yeah.
easy one. This is a nice reminder. It's just
Mm.
one of those little reminders to stay on track, stay in alignment. Nothing too serious, nothing too hard. No need to overwork it or overthink it, but just that nice little reminder that even if I was sitting here by myself, I'm truly not alone.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Thank you. Linda, did you have anything from the week before that you want to share? How you went?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find that now. I'm thinking that it is because usually I mark it better than this, but anyway, I think it's if sickness is separation, the decision to heal and to be healed is the first step toward recognizing what you truly want. I'm pretty sure it was that. But after watching your guys' video from last week, I went when it was the same as Jane. Think like him ever so slightly, and the little spark becomes a blazing light that fills your mind so that he becomes your only guest. And you know, when I read that sentence, I had Samuel L. Jackson come into my mind. You know, when he's in Pulp Fiction and he's preaching from the Bible, and I just had him saying that in my head, and I thought, oh my God, that's pretty cool.
I love it.
Mm. So, yeah.
Hear that now too.
So and so I'm going to look up heal as well, Gary, because you were talking about that last week.
Yeah, it's on Prime, I think it is.
It can actually
Okay.
be different in Australia. It might be a different streaming service. I've noticed that sometimes.
Yeah,
Like
well,
we don't
I've
get
got a,
Dancing with the Stars on Disney Plus, and I'm really annoyed.
What's
Well, that's
that?
a pretty good program to watch, Dancing with the Stars, because it's got the little Australian Aussie
Yeah, Robert Owen,
cutie
he's
on there.
adorable. He's
Yeah, he
so
really is
a little
adorable.
ball of love, that one.
Yeah, sweetie.
Yeah.
now I've got another device that I can use, and I'm sure it'll be on there. So it doesn't matter what it's streaming on; it'll be on that.
And
So I'll
sometimes
have
you
a
can
look,
just get
and
it
I'll
on
let you know.
YouTube. Yeah, good. Let us know. Let's start reading.
Let's do.
I really ought to remember where things are, but I can't find my share thing now. It's got to be, it hasn't moved. I'm sure of it. I just don't remember.
It's got a green arrow or green
Yeah.
around
Ah,
an
yes,
arrow.
it's a great big green arrow. Yeah.
Yeah, and they have changed it because usually I make you guys bigger because I'm reading from the book. But yeah, they've changed that now too, so I can't actually make you any bigger, which is annoying.
Mm.
We're just little
I hate it when they
tiny
change stuff.
Right, number 6. Gary, would you like to start us, please?
I would like to start. Thank you.
Thank you.
You will never rest until you know your function and fulfill it. For only in this can your will and your Father's be wholly joined. To have him is to be like him, and he has given himself to you. You who have God must be as God, for his function becomes yours with his gift. Invite this knowledge back into your mind and let nothing that obscures it enter. The guest whom God sent you will teach you how to do this. If you but recognize the little spark and are willing to let it grow, like the tomato seedlings.
Mhm.
Your willingness need not be perfect because his is. If you were merely offer him a little place, he will lighten it so much that you will gladly let it be increased. And by this increase, you will begin to remember creation.
Oh, that's beautiful. Love that.
That is a beautiful, it's beautiful.
Yeah, love it. Mm. Ooly oolies.
I love that the guest whom God sent you will teach you. So that's not necessarily your choice of guest. It's who God sent you.
Mm. So, Coralie, do you think that's like anybody that shows up in front of you is the guest?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is one of those things that the book says all the way through, isn't it?
Yep. I don't know. We need to break that up any, do we? That's pretty clear.
Mm-mm.
And this is the last paragraph in this section. And it's not too big by the looks of it. So, Joe, would you like to read that one?
Number 7.
Yeah.
Would you be hostage to the ego or host to God? You will accept only whom you invite. You are free to determine who shall be your guest and how long he shall remain with you. Yet this is not real freedom, for it still depends on how you see it. The Holy Spirit is there, although he cannot help you without your invitation. And the ego is nothing, whether you invite it in or not. Real freedom depends on welcoming reality, and of your guests, only the Holy Spirit is real. Know then who abides with you merely by recognizing what is already there, or what is there already, and do not be satisfied with imaginary comforts, for the comforter of God is you. I butchered that.
No, you didn't.
What a great little chapter.
Oh, it
Mm.
is.
This kind you will accept only whom you invite, which I feel is a little bit different to what your guest will be anybody that shows up, but we're just trying to get that right in my head now.
I sort
I
of
think it,
took that as also if the guest was anybody, whether you see the Holy Spirit in them or you sit there and judge them with your little ego, they
Okay,
could
yeah,
be
that's
anyone.
that takes me back to the lesson of um, what I allow in will abide in me. I think
Mm.
it's talking more about thoughts,
yeah,
our
yes.
thoughts as our guests instead of actual people.
Yes.
I love how you get the brain thinking a bit differently, Gary.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that's so true. I kind of feel that's what was happening with me this week when I kind of let the clicky people get into my head at all. They don't deserve to be there.
Think of it as a apartment building and it's yours and you're renting out space. And those thoughts pay you no rent.
No,
There's no value to them.
absolutely. They just make a mess in there.
Yeah. They can't find the toilet, so they're pooping on the floor.
Kick them out.
That is not a fun apartment to walk into either.
No. That leaves all kinds of wonderful visual representations in my mind.
Mm.
And you know, the pooping on the floor is exactly what I walked into the kitchen to this morning because Gracie's taken to sleeping in the kitchen. And I got up a little bit too late this morning. So, yeah, pooping on the floor, it's not a pleasant thing to come out to.
No. I wake up to zoomies, which means they've been to the kitty litter.
It's a good thing.
Well, Gracie's basically an outdoor cat now, so she has her food in the laundry that she can access. But if she's in the kitchen, she can't get out on her own. We don't have anywhere that we can put a cat door, so she's basically an outdoor cat now.
Mm. Long way from living in a mobile home.
It certainly is. Yeah, she's got her kingdom now. Her queendom. Her queendom.
Random. Okay, I feel like that's helped me a lot. Thank you. Shall we move on?
Yes, let's go from darkness to light.
Hmm.
It's the next chapter.
Yeah, I just got to make a note here. Because the ego does not get invited in. It'll come in anyway. So
But we are still inviting it, aren't we?
it says,
Well,
and the ego is nothing whether you invite it in or not. Oh, so it's not in there. So he's the one who poop on the floor if you let him. So don't let him in.
I
I
or
think.
the cat. Mm.
Darkness to light. He wants to read that one. It's probably my turn. I'll do that one. When you are weary, remember you have hurt yourself. Your comforter will rest you, but you cannot. You do not know how, for if you did, you could never have grown weary. Unless you hurt yourself, you could never suffer in any way, for that is not God's will for his son. Pain is not of him, for he knows no attack, and his peace surrounds you silently. God is very quiet, for there is no conflict in him. Conflict is the root of all evil. For being blind, it does not see whom it attacks. Yet it always attacks the Son of God, and the Son of God is you. Mm.
So what's conflict then? God is very quiet, for there is no conflict in him. Conflict is the root of all evil. For being blind, it does not see whom it attacks. Is that believing, not believing? That sort of conflict are we talking about?
I do not know.
I was taking that quite literally.
It sounds to me like you're always under attack.
Well, I think we are with our thoughts.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think we are with our thoughts. Because whenever we're being viewed as not one with God, and whenever we're viewing outside of ourselves and we're seeing the populace and we're not seeing the oneness or that they are God in human form, then that separation, that is a form of attack.
So conflict then being separation.
Yeah, that's how I'm interpreting it.
Okay. It's not even about our own thoughts, is it? It's thoughts that other people are putting into our heads.
Well,
Things that
it's
we
also about,
see,
That we
things that we
allow other
do.
people to put in our heads.
yeah, I don't think it's about what they put in our heads. It's more about how we're perceived by others and then how they will engage with us based upon that perception. I'm pretty convinced that none of us actually see each other because we're seeing a transference or a projection of our own mind and our own issues upon another. And the only thing that we actually can see or choose to see is that oneness of God that is me and is that other person. The rest of it is just sort of I'm seeing myself in another form because I can't interpret as I'm interpreting someone. I can only interpret through the filter of my experience, which means I'm just seeing projections of my own experience. So when someone does something bad, I'll think, oh my God, they're believing this and they're thinking this and they feel like this. So of course they're doing that. But that's what I would be doing because I can't see anything but what I would do.
Mm.
And that I think is, for me, anyways, um, I remember this one line in the Course in Miracles. It's like, as you continue to forgive the things you're judging, all all forgiveness is self-forgiveness, and all condemnation is self-condemnation. So it's kind of an interesting way to look at it.
One of the things I learned with the horses and they're putting them into a paddock together after a long time separated and working out how it was all going to be, trying to reduce the amount of conflict in the group. And I went and I chatted to Rose before she got to go in with the horse that she was most, that actually beat her up, basically, and would chase her around and beat her up. They hadn't been in a paddock together for a long time. And I said to Rose, before they let them in, I said, keep yourself safe and watch and learn and stay close to her half sister. So instead of all that, she was the first one to greet Chipperley, and it was the most beautiful thing. They regretted it. They were very respectful and very polite, and they have not had any conflict at all in the week or so they've been together now. And for me, that was a lesson to say, and it's going to come back to humans in a minute, but I was judging what was going to happen based on a history.
Yeah.
But she'd moved on from then and she's learnt so much. She's already done all the watching and learning. It was not necessary. And I didn't recognize that. And I think we do that with humans and especially our children. Not that I've ever had children, but I see it happen and family. We come to talk to them and think we know what they're going to say and we know where they're going to come from and we know everything that's going to happen. And so we're all ready for the conflict. But if we came to them, we don't do that with people we don't know. We're polite and we inquire and we explore rather than assume we know what they're going to do and be. And I kind of feel like every time we speak to someone, we're coming from a new place, and it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Them's wise words, woman.
Shall we move on?
Yep.
Coralie, would you like to read that one? You look
Yeah.
like you're ready.
God's Son is indeed in need of comfort, for he knows not what he does, believing his will is not his own. The kingdom is his, and yet he wanders homeless. At home in God he is lonely, and amid all his brothers he is friendless. Would God let this be real when he did not? Would God let this be real when he did not will it to be alone himself? Did not will it to be alone himself. And if your will is his, it cannot be true of you, because it is not true of him.
Well, that
Okay.
messed with my head a little bit.
Me too.
You know, some paragraphs that we go through and read, and I think to myself, was that paragraph actually really necessary? Like, you could have just left that out and it would be, you know, we could just move on. But when you go back and have a look at those paragraphs again, you think, oh my God, that's where the lesson lies. That's the
Yeah.
actual lesson.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it is not true of him. I think what threw me a little bit is when it said the kingdom of the at home in hold on. The kingdom is his, and yet he wanders homeless. At home in God, he is lonely, and amid all his brothers, he is friendless.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking, well, if I'm at home in God, how could I be lonely?
I'm not sure. I'm confused a bit too.
Isn't that the point, though? That
I think it is.
you only feel friendless and alone and homeless when you're being with your ego.
And I think the last sentence, and if your will is his, it cannot be true of you because it is not true of him. This is what I mean about some paragraphs just shouldn't be in this book.
I think it comes back to the first sentence. God's Son is indeed in need of comfort, for he knows not what he does, believing his will is not his own. And I think it's trying to frame a situation where we're weary, we're in need of comfort, so we're disconnected. And then we're feeling lonely and disconnected, even though we might be amongst our brothers, and we're actually not friendless because it's not real. Would God let this be real
Hmm.
when he did not will to be alone himself? So God doesn't want to be alone, hence he's created us. And then so when we're feeling separated, it's not real. And if your will is his, he cannot be true of you because it's not true of him. Does that help?
So that sentence then, at home in God he is lonely, and amid all his brothers he is friendless. Like what is the point of that? Like, I understand that it goes on to say, would God let this be real, blah, blah, blah. But are you talking about being at home in God or of God or with God?
I
Like,
think it comes
is it
back to that
saying that
need
at
of
home in
comfort.
God he's lonely?
It's going to come back to that first sentence, for that's where they're painting the picture of what's not quite right, what's not.
Well, if we look at our own condition, we're wandering in this world of endless expressions of God. So the kingdom is mine, and yet I wander homeless. Because if I have a separated mind, I'm not going to see the oneness anywhere. At home in God, which I think we all are, we're lonely. Amid all of our brothers, we're friendless because we're not seeing the oneness in as many people as we require to. And then the questions, would God let this be real? No, it's not real. In reality, we are one. He did not will to be alone himself. And if your will is his, it cannot be true of you because it is not true of him. So it's fundamentally saying we're wandering in this kingdom. We're not alone. We're one with God, and it's not his will, so it can't be true.
That's sort of what I was saying before we started the call, really, where I can be totally alone and not be alone. And that's if I'm at home in my kingdom with God, I am not alone.
Nope, you're not.
Mm. Yeah.
Do we think we have our heads wrapped around that one?
I think I'm pretty comfortable with that. How are you feeling, Linda?
Yeah, when what you were saying there, Gary, got me thinking more outside the square instead of just thinking so literally. I've got a whole heap of friends that if I talk to them about A Course in Miracles or, the lesson that I've learned for the week or whatever, they don't get it. They don't want to know. And it's not because they're not nice people, because they are, but it's just they have a separation about them, and they don't understand, so they're not willing to learn it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
So it sort of just made me think more outside the square.
Keep hearing that Green Day song, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. Where it talks
Yes,
about walking this lonely
great
road,
song.
walking alone. It's the only one I've ever known. It's true. It kind of fits for this, or at least in my mind, it does.
No, it's a beautiful song.
And at the same time, Linda, you still love them, don't you?
Oh, look, without doubt, absolutely,
Yeah.
without doubt.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that you can have these friends and you've had them for decades or more. Yeah, and Greenie's just finishing that sentence off for me. Thank you, Greenie. That's enough. Can you hear him? Bloody loud. Yeah, but I have to be careful with some of the things that I talk about, because there's not always that agreement. There's not always that. Yeah, it's sort of a separation, I guess, within our friendship too, which is okay. It still works.
I kind of, someone once told me, and I come back to it all the time. When talking to Mum, I used to get so frustrated. She never understood what was going on in my life. She'd never worked in an office. She'd never studied. She'd never experienced what I was experiencing. She didn't get it. But when I spoke to her, I was speaking to her, and I was coming to her in her garden. So I would speak about what she's growing.
Yeah.
And it's going to be different language. It's going to be, yeah. So, and I've found that just, and as well, I let go from her, from telling her what she needed to do, to just embodying what I thought was the way to be. And then she would be asking me questions, and it was like, this is what I've been trying to tell you, but okay, now you're asking. So we're coming from a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that, you remember,
No,
Mum?
absolutely. And with,
Linda. Yeah.
Yeah,
Whoops, she's dropped out.
Oh, he was just about to say something amazing too.
Yeah, we weren't meant to hear that. Shall we go to number 3 then? And that was Linda's turn
Yep.
to read too. She's done that on purpose.
I'll go ahead and read.
Okay.
Oh, there she
Oh,
is.
she's coming back. You dropped out, Linda, just when you were going to tell us something important.
and then yeah, and then it just sort of came back, like it dropped right out completely, and I thought I'll just go onto my phone and jump back in. I don't know. There's lots of stuff happening with our internet over here, but then there's a lot of stuff happening with a lot of things, really, isn't there,
Yeah.
worldwide? And those are the
Well,
sorts of things that I can't talk to some of my friends about because um, they just think that I'm a conspiracy theorist and what have you. But it's all being proven now, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to say I told you so.
no.
Hmm.
Do
Hmm.
you want to read number 3 then, since you're back?
Sure. Oh, my child, if you knew what God wills for you, your joy would be complete. And what he wills has happened, for it was always true, as in life today. When the light comes and you have said, God's will is mine, you will see such beauty that you will know it is not of you. Out of your joy, you will create beauty in his name, for your joy could no more be contained than his. The bleak little world will vanish into nothingness, and your heart will be so filled with joy that it will leap into heaven and into the presence of God. I cannot tell you what this will be like, for your heart is not ready. Yet I can tell you and remind you often that what God wills for himself, he wills for you, and what he wills for you is yours. Oh, I love that so much. That's awesome, isn't it?
It's like when you
Very
come to
awesome.
the end of a fairy tale and you're hearing about the happy ever after. That's what that feels like.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's heart lifting.
Yeah.
Cool.
I love that one line, the second line, and what he wills has happened, for it was always true.
Hmm.
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 Do we need to break this down anymore?
I don't think we do. I just want to enjoy it for a minute. Yeah, I love that too. Because it's messing with the time construct there as well. And what he wills has happened, for it was always
Right.
true.
Yep. Hmm.
Shall we fit one more in?
I think we could.
Sure. Do it.
No, back to you, Gary.
Okay. The way is not hard, but it is very different. Yours is the way of pain, of which God knows nothing. That way is hard indeed and very lonely. Fear and grief are your guests, and they go with you and abide with you on the way. But the dark journey is not the way of God's Son. Walk in light and do not see the dark companions, for they are not fit companions for the Son of God, who was created of light and in light. The great light always surrounds you and shines out from you. How can you see the dark companions in a light such as this? If you see them, it is only because you are denying the light, but deny them instead, for the light is here and the way is clear.
That's beautiful. Well, God,
Mm.
mouth watering. How blessed are we to be reading these words, quite honestly.
Mm. I'm glad we read that one because it's got my lesson in there. Beautiful.
Mm.
Well, we might even have room for one more then. What's
Crikey.
what's the consensus?
A little bit different from last week, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're making
Even though
up
we
for
had
lost time, Linda.
we had some tricky ones, but some of these are just like we just get them, hey?
Yeah.
I reckon one more. I'll read it quickly.
Okay.
God hides nothing from his Son, even though his Son would hide himself. Yet the Son of God cannot hide his glory, for God wills him to be glorious and give him the light that shines in him. You will never lose your way, for God leads you. When you wander, you but undertake a journey that is not real. The dark companions, the dark way are all illusions. Turn toward the light, for the little spark in you is part of a light so great that it can sweep you out of all darkness forever. For your Father is your creator and you are like him.
Mm.
I love that.
I love when they keep talking about the little spark.
Yeah,
That
me
is
too.
so cool. Because it just makes you feel, oh, I don't know, sparkly. I don't know. It just, yeah, it's cute.
It always makes me feel like I don't like awakening or realization of God is not really any effort that I would ever do. It's the asking for it. And it's the wanting and the longing to be one with God, and then it's gifted. I don't think it ever comes from, oh, I'm such a great meditator, or I practice A Course in Miracles so well. It's more like I long for God, and out of that longing, it's gifted.
Mm. And you're right. All we need to do is ask. Very simple thing to do, but seems to be a fairly difficult. Well, I don't know why we make it so difficult. It's not a process, it's a word, and you use it.
I think it's because we're distracted by other desires. That's what makes
Yeah.
it different.
Yeah. And knowing that the paths that you choose aren't always the right ones, but um, they lead to um, the joy of life, I guess. You've got to have these experiences, and sometimes you just got to step off the path and go, well, I just want to try this out. And if it works, stick on it. And if it doesn't, on the right path.
That's what we're here.
That's my philosophy of life anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
I'll start with my lesson
Yep.
because we're almost there.
Mm.
Would you be hostage to the ego or a host to God? The great light always surrounds you and shines out from you.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Mine was walk in the light and do not see the dark companions, for they are not fit companions for the Son of God, who was created of light and in light.
Yeah, I chose that one too. That's great, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I'll go with mine. So turn toward the light, for the little spark in you is part of a light so great that it can sweep you out of all darkness forever.
Beautiful.
I love that. It's like a little,
Yeah,
it's like a fairy tale.
it
It is
is.
like a fairy tale.
Joe.
I invite the Holy Spirit into me as my guest to lighten up my reality and perception of this world around me. His peace surrounds me powerfully, yet silently. That felt great to read out loud. Wow. I was getting tingles writing it. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good one for you,
Awesome.
Joe.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
It's a little big to hang up on my screen, but I'll
I love
Yeah.
having post-its all over my computer.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
This
you,
is-
V.
Well,
I'll
next
see you
week.
guys next.
I've just
Well, I'll be
noticed
there next
I've
week.
got this halo. You seen that?
I would have
I thought
had
you
the
always
light
had
on.
Unreal.
I thought you always had that, Linda. The
Pardon?
glow always follows you.
Yeah, that little
Listen to
spark.
you. We've
Little
all got
spark.
that spark.
Name. Little spark. Okay.
Anyway, beautiful people.
Bye-bye.
Much love
See you
to you
guys
all.
later.
Everyone.
Bye.
See you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.